Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Sergio and this is going to be my first video. In fact, the first video of this new channel. So I really put a lot of effort in this content, so I hope you enjoy it. So this video is going to be a step-by-step guide to becoming omnipresent, an authority figure, and dominating any market in 2021 and beyond. And you will see why I say these words. So first of all, I like to give the credit where it is due, and this time it's going to be for Dennis Yu, who is a really smart marketer whom I've learned a lot from. And of course, he doesn't know me. I don't know him personally, but I know that he's a really smart guy. In case you don't know him, he has actually worked directly with many companies and big names in the digital marketing industry. I think he has even talked with Mark Zuckerberg and made collaborations with digital marketer Brian Dice, among many others. So the strategy we're going to discuss today is going to be one that he talks about and that I've really found very useful and implemented in some of the clients I've worked with. So it works. So the content of this video is going to be about, more or less, we're going to talk about what is omnipresence and why it's important, why we're using videos, the how, why, and what concepts, which are from Dennis Yu, and why this works and how to implement it. So get right to it. Well, this is a small disclaimer. We're in this video not going to launch Facebook ads or Google ads. We're not going to go into any technical features of Facebook and Google. And of course, these topics are going to be mentioned along this video, but I'm going to make a separate content and separate tutorials and how to launch Facebook ads that work and that can give you results, but those are going to be for a different video, so you can watch out for them. So I want to start with this first sentence, which is, when people believe in your mission, they'll buy whatever it is you have to sell. And this is really important to start with because I see many people that are starting in the retail industry or e-commerce industry, and they have different backgrounds, but they don't really realize that people don't really care about your product. They don't even care about you. They only care about what you can do for them and how your product or service can help them take them from point A to point B. So a lot of times people lose their focus and they start working on different things that don't really matter, and of course they want to know that you can actually help them, but the different factor between them working with you or working with different service, right, going to be you. So you are going to be the value proposition in this case, and of course, like, why is someone going to buy the same car from two different salesmen? And of course, it's going to be because they will trust one more than the other. So we'll get to that and why I'm saying this. So this is a small definition that I found on Google on what is omnipresence, and basically they define it as the property of being present anywhere and everywhere. So it's about being everywhere in every step of the customer journey or buyer journey, or however you want to call it, from our customers, because that's the moment that they are going to be, okay, I've seen this brand many times, it means they are doing something right. So this is just a small example that I made for you. So imagine there's this guy who's in the beach, at the beach, and he start maybe seeing, his surroundings, and then he sees that there's this person on this big and colorful and amazing surfboard. Then he thinks that he likes it, but okay, the days goes by, and of course nothing happens. The very next day, he starts browsing through Facebook, and boom, he sees an ad about a surfboard, or maybe he sees someone sharing something about a surfboard. So now it piques his interest. And don't ask me why. I don't know if Facebook or Google hears us, but I mean, I think they actually can tell whenever we like something and when we do not. So Following with this example, the next day he starts browsing on Google and boom, he sees another ad about a surfboard, right? He's like, okay, maybe I need to buy something, maybe I need to buy it, I don't know. But slowly it starts piquing his interest. And of course, he's not being conscious about seeing the ads because sometimes we see them, but we don't even realize they're ads. So he just feels like it's content that it's being pushed to him, but he doesn't really realize that these are ads, right? So then the following week he starts talking with a coworker, and he's like, hey, I've seen this surfboard, blah blah blah, I've seen also on the internet, and maybe he shows it to her, and she's like, oh yeah, I think it's really cool, I think you should get it. So then that same day, let's say he starts going to the website because that's what we do, and then he starts browsing on the e-commerce site, and he sees all the products, he sees all the variants, right? The colors, the sizes, free shipping, blah blah blah. And then he's like, oh, but I don't know if I should buy it. So he shuts his computer off and call it a day. The next day he starts browsing on Facebook again or Google, and he sees an ad or a video on YouTube where there is people talking about the surfboard, and he sees the reviews and all of that, and then he sees another video of someone of an influencer talking about the surfboard, and then I mean unconsciously he's going to be thinking like, I need to get this surfboard because there are so many psychological factors going on that makes him pull the trigger. And then maybe the same day or the very next day that he knows that he has a plan to go in, to go to the beach, he's like, okay, I will buy the surfboard, and boom, he buys the surfboard. So of course I cut many steps here, but this is basically what happens in this purchase journey, and how the following strategy that I'm going to tell you is going to help you achieve these kinds of results. So to sum it up, this strategy basically consists on becoming the person or figure that offers value to the marketplace and that knows what he or she is talking about when it comes to topics that our audiences are interested in. And notice that I put in bold that knows what he's talking about or she's talking about, because sometimes, many times, we see people that are start offering their services, whether they are digitally or physical, and they don't really know how to promote themselves because they start pushing the service. But again, as we discussed earlier, people don't really care about your price, they really care about who you are, and they want to know and make sure and be certain that you can actually help them go from point A to point B. So I have this small example from an industry, which is going to be tennis, and this is a tennis coach. So, and of course, this example applies to coaches and many other industries. So let's say this tennis coach, he knows that he can teach kids, and he has a vast experience, but his friends start telling him like, hey, coach, you should start advertising online because maybe you can get more clients, and I know that you need them. So he's like, okay, he starts watching some videos, and then he starts recording some, I mean, let's call them ads, and he starts talking about how his sessions are about 1 hour. He starts saying about the price. He says he helps you whether you are in the beginner, intermediate, or advanced process of your learning of the sport, and etc. But what he doesn't realize that people, I mean, if you are browsing, and let's be honest, if you're browsing through your Instagram feed or maybe Facebook feed, and all of a sudden you start seeing an ad from this random person that is not really offering any value to you, and is pushing you his sale and his session and blah blah blah, and maybe he says, oh, you can start free or whatever, and you are already training with someone who is locally, I mean, who is local, on your local tennis courts, like what are the chances of you leaving your current coach for someone that is going to charge you maybe a little bit less? Maybe, I mean, yeah, because here the price, I mean, the proposition would be the price, right? Like, what will make you actually make the shift from your current coach to a new one? And of course, I'm pretty sure that just a simple ad similar to the one that I mentioned to you is not going to make the trick. I'm sure that not many people will actually leave their current trainings just because they saw an ad of someone saying how good they are and that they can maybe teach you for cheap, I mean, at a cheaper price. So next, I want to tell you guys that the process that we're going to use to implement this strategy is going to be through videos, and because in order for them to know, like, and trust us, it has been proven that videos can help the most. Of course, pictures can tell, but videos can actually show who you are. I don't know, but I think videos are really an important aspect of any business, and because you can actually talk and people can feel you, they can hear your tone, and there are many things going on in human behavior that we actually tend to trust more videos than images. So this is a regular marketing funnel. It starts with the awareness, interest, consideration, intent, evaluation, and purchase. Of course, there are many ways that people have been calling these names among the years, but let's say that this is like the standard marketing funnel. But when you see these arrows, it's because these are the main steps that we're going to discuss today, and which are in the awareness, consideration, and purchase intent steps of the marketing funnel, and how we're going to take these steps and make our future prospects and customers trust us, hear about us, and ultimately buy and purchase our products, and of course build relationships with them. So the most important thing here is to create a brand awareness and social engagement before promoting our services or a sale. This is what I mentioned earlier. So why is this? Because people buy from people. They don't buy from brands, logos, websites, or even products themselves. What we are achieving with this strategy is not only creating empathy with those that get to know our content, but also we are humanizing our brand. So we're doing this through three stages: through brand awareness, social engagement, and promotion and selling. So within the brand awareness stage, we have the why, which ultimately will become the know. Like our customers need to know us, and they will get to know us by us explaining our why. So this is going to be in our brand awareness stage. Then we have our social engagement, which is going to be the how or the like. They need to like us. And to like us, we're going to show them how we do our things. And we will get to that later. Then we have the promotion and sale, which is going to be the what and ultimately the trust factor for them purchasing or acquiring our services above or instead any other competitor in your market or niche. So I want you to think about this. You want to buy services from an agency, coach, or any service in particular. You happen to know which is the name of this person making the sale, and you simply make a Google for them. I mean, you Google their name. Then what happens? A picture in a bar shows up. You see that this person is king and many other physical activities or sports that you also happen to like. So of course this can be a coincidence, but maybe one out of four things that this person has shared on his social media, maybe you also happen to go to the same bar that he goes, or maybe you happen to go to the same beach that this person is going to do the surfing and all of that. So if your prospects or audience see that you like fishing, doing a particular hobby, and they like that hobby too, who do you think they're gonna choose between you and your competitor whom they know anything about? And of course, it's going to be you. This is the same example that I gave you about the car salesman. If you want to buy the same car, maybe similar year, and you have two salesmen, there is a higher chance that you will buy not even the better price, but the one and the one that, I mean, from the salesman that gives you the more trust and the more certainty that you will have a good car. And of course, you will feel this if you trust the person. And many of these things help with that. I mean, it has been proven. So this is another example. This is actually the last example I think we'll see before we jump right to the nitty gritty of this strategy. And let's say you need a babysitter. It's Saturday night. You need the babysitter. You know there is one working next door, but you also have the resume for the best one out there. So let's say you have been looking for a babysitter for a week, and you have seen these resumes during the last 3 days. There is a high chance that you will probably choose the one that is next door because it's the one you think you know the most, and also not only you have seen her before, but you know and trust their neighbor. I mean your neighbors, and this makes you automatically trust her. So imagine you're being in this position. You need to go out on the Saturday night, and you need to leave your son or your daughter with someone, and of course you need to be certain that this person is going to take care of them much as you do, you know, like because you love them. So it's, I mean, there's a higher chance that you will hire this babysitter that have been working with your neighbors for a long time instead of a random one that you haven't seen before because you have seen her. So there is a psychological part of there is a psychological thing here that makes you trust her. So now coming to the strategy itself, as we talked about it, we have the awareness, consideration, and conversion, which is the why, how, and what, which transforms into the know, like, and trust. Dennis Yu talks about the 3x3 video grid, and we can have 3x3, you can have 4x4, you can have 5x5, but for the sake of this example, I'm going to stick with the 3x3. So we'll work with the awareness, engagement, conversion steps of the funnel. And we'll have different strategies for each step in order for us to become the authority and of course to become omnipresent and be on every step of the journey from our customers in order for them to understand that we can actually help them in achieving the results that they want. So why, how, and what videos. So a video done properly is not only a brand vehicle or a direct response information, but it's also a bridge between awareness and conversion. So why videos? Because they help us generate remarketing audiences with paid advertising. So if you have been working with Facebook or Google and YouTube ads, you know that you can build retargeting or remarketing audiences and retarget those that have visited or seen your videos, and also you can build lookalikes from these audiences, which of course I'm going to go into detail on this video, but these are really interesting audiences that can then leverage to find more people similar to this. It also helps us with engagement by people sharing, which is similar to the real world word of mouth, you know, people sharing your content. And of course you can get cheaper to get the message out there at just one a day. Then you also talks about this $1 a day strategy, where you can actually have a bunch of videos with similar topics and you can just amplify them with just $1 a day. And I have used his strategy and actually works. So that's why actually I'm talking about it here. So let's start with the why. The why videos is where we build our brand awareness, and they're going to be about why we do whatever it is that we do. And this is the first set of videos from our video marketing strategy. These videos are and must be about the owner and possibly the people working in the company or brand. The videos must be about your passions, stories of success and failure, and you need to tell people why everything started. So it doesn't matter your industry, your vertical or type of business, because there's always a story about why and the reason behind the business was started and, of course, created. But we got to remember that humans look for authenticity, and at the end of the day, the brand is the sum of positive and negative experiences that the user base creates. So again, we're going to go through the first part of the funnel, which is the awareness stage. The aim here is to create lasting relationships with our customers, to know us, to feel identified, and to ultimately trust our business when we offer it to them, because there's going to be a moment where we're actually going to sell our services and push for the sale, but it's going to be at the right moment. It's not like, like when dating, like you can't expect to get married on the first date, right? So you gotta have a process in place and have everything happening before you push for sale. We're looking for customers and prospects to develop an emotional connection with our why and the why of the business, and possibly get into a deeper level of connection with the owner of the business. I have a video, an example of Nike. Nike doesn't really sorry, Nike doesn't really advertise the quality of the materials used in their shoes, right? Like, I don't remember seeing an ad of Nike showing you the materials and how this is going to last for you longer compared to Adidas or maybe any other brand that they consider their competitors. Right? Like, you don't really see this. What you see is their mission, their dream, and why behind their products. Like, you see inspirational ads, and that's their mission, that's their why, that's the person they know and they feel and they think that you want to become. So they're showing this kind of people using their products because they feel and they know and they think that this is what their customer base will want to be in the future, so they can portray themselves as these individuals using their products. That's their why. So maybe, I'm sure that you are going to be thinking like, okay, but maybe this doesn't apply for my industry. Maybe I'm a chiropractor. Maybe I work in a car wash. There are many different industries, but it works for every industry. You just need to be creative. And here I'm going to give an example, which actually I took from one of the examples that Dennis Yu talks in his speeches, and when he talks about this strategy, which is basically, let's say you are a chiropractor in the health and wellness industry niche. So the first set of videos, because remember, we're going to have 3 by 3 by 3. So in the first set of videos, we're going to have an example of video. The video number one can be a business owner may have had a past injury or chronic pain that drove them into opening a fitness injury or injury rehabilitation center to help others with their discomfort. So here is going to be the content that the business owner will talk about. So the business owner can talk about how he had this past injury and pain, and how this motivated him to open this rehab center. The video number two can be the business owner referring back to college sports, where they always push their teammates to focus on the fundamentals of proper weightlifting, which led them to a career in physical therapy. So he can talk about how when he was in sports back in college, this motivated him also to build a career in the physical therapy industry. And the third example can be the business owner sharing his story about the first time that he received physical therapy, and how this experience made him feel like really good, that he actually imagined himself working in a similar industry in the niche, and that's how he became one of the best chiropractors in his town or in his profession, right? So you can use these example ideas and just compare them to your industry, and we'll give examples also for the other topics. So now the how. How videos, this is the very next step that we need to get that social engagement and to show our expertise and experience. You will see why. So people like to know how things are made, and it also helps us demonstrate our competence by showing how we do our work and the knowledge we have about that particular industry. This will give us authority. So moving down the marketing funnel, we're at the engagement stage. We have the how, which is again 3 more videos. Here are some examples. So let's say we have a chef, of course, cooking or prepping a particular meal for your favorite food. So imagine you work in a restaurant, you own a restaurant, or maybe you are the chef of the restaurant and you want to get not only famous, but you want to get more customers. And one way to do that, after you have shared your why, you can actually make and start making videos about how you cook or you prep your meals. So I'm sure many of us have seen these videos from these pages and Instagram accounts such as Tasty and many others, where we are just scrolling and boom, we see a video of someone cooking roasted chicken, or maybe, I don't know, a dog, or a cake or anything. Like, we are into that. Even if we are not cooks ourselves, we like seeing how things are done, because it's just another psychological trigger that makes us look for more. So you can also be a carpenter, right, and create fancy desks with imported wood. And here I have an example from these guys at blackforestwood.com. And of course, this is, I don't know them personally, they don't know me either, but it's an account that I found and I think they're doing a really good job. And I actually found them on Instagram because I've seen some videos, and Instagram, the algorithm pushes some do-it-yourself content to me, and I found them a while ago, let's say 1 year ago maybe, and every now and then I've seen their videos, and I think they're not only creative, and like, if you enjoy watching this type of videos, you can spend many minutes or hours watching this type of content. But I also think they know what they are doing, because you can actually go to their Instagram, which is Black Forest Wood, and this is a video that I found on YouTube, where of course we're not going to watch it all, but they have many concepts that I've talked about. So for example, here they start talking, and they show how they pick their wood, how they take it to their warehouse, I don't know, maybe something like that, and then they show how they cut it. So they are showing every step of the way. And I think some people will say, no, but I don't want to show others how I do my things, I don't want to show others how I cook or how I wash my cars, because then they will buy the same materials, they will, and yada yada yada. There are different excuses, different examples that I can give you of why this works. Like, maybe I'm not their target audience, maybe I'm not someone that would buy a table right now, because maybe I don't have the space in my house. But trust me, like, whenever I get my office, or I hear something talking about wanting to buy a desk similar to the ones these guys produce, like, they're going to be the first thing and the first name that I'm going to mention to them. These guys are my top of mind, right? That's the word that I was looking for. And for custom furniture and solid wood doors, woodworking supplies and courses. Like, if you want to learn how to do this with resin and many other products that they use, trust me, they will be my top of mind. And of course, if you follow them, maybe yours as well. So this is how the how can actually work and benefit your business, because people don't really care about the price only, they care about how things are done. And of course, if, for example, let's say you have a car wash, and or you're a coach, let's say, let's use this harder example, which also works. Maybe they want to know how you're going to actually help them. Maybe you have a strategic plan. Maybe you use certain methodologies to, for example, you're a coach for helping people with their finances. So maybe you start selling the course, but people are wondering, but how are you going to actually help me? So you can tell them about how you have this mindset, and how you can help them with maybe you have Google Sheets where you help them strategize how they're going to spend their budget. And I mean, of course, I'm not a finance coach, and but you get the idea. Like, for example, you are a car wash owner, and you can actually film and record the people washing the cars, and how they clean the carpet and the windows and the engine and all of those things. And people, I mean, trust me, if someone sees that and they are already going to this other place where they have no idea if these guys are actually cleaning their car as good as you are showing that you do on your business, they will go to your business. Trust me, it works. So having said this, sorry. Um, so as I was mentioning on the previous examples, we can determine that they all dominate their area of expertise. So we will trust them. And of course, we will be willing to work with them and invest our hard-earned money in their services because we feel we already know them and consider they offer an excellent service. And this works for the car wash, for the chef, for the cook, and of course, if you're a coach or anything in between. Here is an interesting fact that Google said, where they mentioned that searches related to how to on YouTube are growing 70% year over year, with more than 100 million hours of how to content watched in North America alone in 2015. And for you guys, for the non-believers or the ones that want to fact check everything, here is the link where I found the information. I mean, and I think it's really interesting, like how many of you, and I include myself, have actually searched for how to do something on YouTube. I mean, I have searched on how to do simple things on my computer, how to fix things, how to fix settings, how to even a couple of years back I used to YouTube how to even record this type of videos. So there you go. I mean, it works. So for any industry, how to do things. So have this in mind, and I hope you guys are actually going to apply, even if it's just 10% of this strategy, but do it because it works. And again, I'm going to tell you some examples that you can use, supposing that you were a chiropractor in the health and wellness niche, because this is a niche that is quite popular. And I know that many people in this industry or in other industries will say that, okay, maybe this works for me, but maybe it will work for other industry. So supposing you are this guy, the chiropractor, in your how videos, you can show a fitness injury rehabilitation center, I mean your center, and you can record and share how-to videos with tips of proper stretching techniques for shoulder pain. And of course, you cannot be scared of people using your tips and not going and visiting to you, because we will pay for expertise. But if you show them your techniques, they will trust you more, because some of them, I mean 90% of them will not do them, and they will see how you will actually help them, so they know and they will be prepared, and they will be aware of your techniques, and if they like them, they will go to your service. Another example can be you're recording how to deal with mental health issues that stem from a major injury, or dealing with the stress of not being able to work due to your injury. And also, you can share tips and tricks for people who sit in an office chair to avoid tight neck, upper back. And of course, these are examples for this industry, but you can be creative and get similar ideas for your niche. And finally, we have the what. So on the what videos, the goal here is to convert the prospect into a client. and not only get their business, but build a relationship, because many people want to simply go for the sale, and going for the sale is just one thing. You want to actually build a business, because if you want to build a business, I mean that you actually care for your customers, and if you care for your customers after they buy your product, it just started. I mean, it hasn't ended, it has just started, and this is the moment where you can get in touch with them, and make sure that everything that relates to your product is being working perfectly, and that you can over deliver to them, right? Because that's the most important part. And here we are going to talk about our product or service, and we can also mention price, which I mentioned it's optional. And I mentioned we can talk about our product or price, because remember that on the why and the how, we're not talking about that. We are talking about why your business, and on the how, we're talking about how you are going to help them, or how you deliver your promise, right? And here in the what, you actually tell what you offer, and you tell them to buy from you. That's why it's the last step. So it's important here to have the previous stages in place. If we don't mention the why or how before the what, it's very likely that our future clients and prospects will ignore us, since there's no emotional reason or logic that justifies them paying us for our services over any other competitor that can offer the same service for a cheaper price. We have talked about this in the past. Think about it. People will never know about the quality of your business, products, or services until they get their feet in the door. It's your job to make the process of them going from not knowing you to knowing you as frictionless as possible. It's your job to make them go to your car wash business, make them get their car in there, and you cleaning it for them. But it's your job to make it easy for them, because they can go to any car wash location, but why are they going to go to yours? And that's why we have to have in place our strategy of the why, how videos before they see the what videos. So with the why, how, and what, the customer already knows the reasons why we're in business, our aspirations, and they possibly know a little bit about our lives, which of course are going to help them with that trust factor, all of which will ultimately help in them in their buying decisions. So this will help them, realize like, hey, I will go to this person's business. It will and should feel like if we were friends, even if we didn't know each other in real life just yet. And finally, I have some examples from the same niche as a chiropractor on what type of content in video you could do in the what section to convert your customer. So as an example, in a video, you can promote your one-on-one therapy services. You could promote your mental health awareness month, let's say it's May, your specials, and talk about the relationship between fitness and stress relief. You can throw in like a tip along with a promotion, and you can promote your fitness session. So let's say you have different sessions, or different trainings, or different types of things. Let's say you're a gym coach, and you have people, build muscle, or cut fat, or things in between, and you can simply tell them how you are giving them a discount if they join today. Maybe you're giving them some tips along with your offer, and things like that. Like, you can just go straight for the sale. You can tell them how long it will last. You can tell them how long the sessions are going to be for. You can tell them when you can start, how long does it take. Like, you can go for all the details about your service or product, but just in this phase. And finally, this is the 3x3 video grid funnel, and we went through the awareness, engagement, and conversion part of the marketing funnel. This is the 10,000 foot view of the strategy, and of course there are things and the technical aspect of the strategy of making the video, recording, and uploading, and paying on social media for it to be delivered to your market audience. But that's another thing that we're going to see in a following video. But it's very important that we have this strategy in place and we know what we want to tell our customers, because this is going to be, I mean, these 3 steps are going to be how we portray, I mean, how customers portray our brand, and it will determine whether we become the top of mind for them or not. So I also, to finish, I went to Google Docs and created a document with all of this information, literally almost word by word, and also have some exercises which you can access to help you maybe strategize a little bit. It's just like some 2 or 3 points where I give you the examples, and also you can see the topics that you need to create or have in mind before recording the videos. So it's just like a small guide that if you like this strategy, you can actually follow and start implementing today, because this is about implementing, guys. And that's all. I hope you liked it. Remember to subscribe and leave a like in the bottom below. And leave me your comments, your questions, your concerns. If you want to get in touch with me, you can actually look for me. This is my Instagram. I will be posting more marketing tips and strategies along the way. And of course, if you leave a comment here on YouTube, I will see it and reply to you. And also I appear the same on Facebook in case. So feel free to reach out to me, search for me and send me a message. Tell me that you came from this video or from any video, and I will be glad to help you with whatever question you can have marketing wise. And have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.